about to get spooky, you know? Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? About to get spooky. You feel me?
Uh-oh, well, it got spooky during the trade deadline today, fellas. The
On the
Commanders
place.
were the Commanders were open house. Gave away two defensive pieces today. First up was Sweat going to the Bears. I was a little confused on that one. I don't know about y'all, but I thought the Bears were tanking. I don't know what they were doing picking him up. But Chase Young also left, and unfortunately, he went to the 49ers. I am not pleased about that. He is lined back up with Nick Bosa, his old college teammate. So I'm not looking forward to any of that tape. How y'all feel about the Commanders and giving away these pieces?
I mean, it's good for them, honestly, because we actually just discovered before the pod, before we started recording and all that. I mean, what they have a first round pick, two second round picks, two third round picks, and they have 90 million cap space. So the Commanders are doing what needs to be done to reset, under new ownership. So good for them. As a Cowboys fan, it's difficult to say, but good for them. San Francisco, as Wayne said earlier, the rich get richer. And that's just what they're doing. They are committing to the pass rush. No quarterback is going to have any ounce of breathing room if you don't get the ball off within 3 to 5 seconds. That's exactly what San Francisco is telling us right now. So the NFL has to figure out a way because, I mean, hey, they're down. They've lost three straight. A little confusion over there. Brock Purdy is not the guy that we all thought he was. Everybody's saying MVP. It's not looking like it right now. So San Francisco has to fix something, and they added Chase Young, who has 5 sacks in 6 games. Perfect addition for their team, I'd say.
I mean, the only thing I will say, un like despite Brock Purdy's performances recently, he still manages to average 15 plus in fantasy and still manages to stay in the top 10. So like it's a tragic situation, but it also is somewhat beneficial for him. Although once again, fantasy points aren't going to help you win and aren't going to help you through the season. As a watcher, it is beneficial. But once again, it is coming to fruition to see that Brock Purdy is not the guy, and is starting to just question: was moving Trey Lance really beneficial, or was it worth waiting and seeing how he was
Trey
going to produce after the injury?
Trey Lance was not going to be the guy in San Francisco. Sorry, it is what it is. Brock Purdy is the answer. He's just rough spell right now, but Trey Lance was never going to be the guy, unfortunately.
Why do you say? Don't you have Trey Lance on your roster currently?
Yeah, and even when the Cowboys are in blowouts, he doesn't touch the field. He hasn't even eclipsed Cooper Rush. So I'm here to tell you, Trey Lance was not going to be the guy. Unfortunately, you hate to see it, but you always want to see black quarterbacks strive and succeed. But unfortunately, he just is not the guy.
Trey Lance
Otherwise,
was brought over to the Cowboys strictly to just learn some plays.
obviously not because they put up 42 on our head. So what did we
Yeah, I mean
learn?
it just didn't work out. I'm just saying that's why he was brought over. It just
No,
didn't
it
work.
was it was a fluff move to appease Cowboys fans to make it seem like Jerry Jones and then we're going to make moves and do this, that, and the third. Nothing was done. Obviously, as we see in this trade deadline. So
I would just say good moves for San Fran. At the end of the day, they boosted up their defense like they needed to. All you need is a competent quarterback, and that's what Brock Purdy is. He's not trash. At the end of the day, he can still get a job done. But you just need a quarterback like that and a strong defense to win championships. So um, it's really tough on the edges now. You got Chase Young and you have Randy Gregory that got a couple weeks ago. So it'd be really interesting to see what they can do. It's up to Steve Wilkes because he hasn't been looking too good as a defensive coordinator so far. But we'll see. Right now they have all the pieces that they need to make a good run. So it's up to them. Up to, of course, Purdy to not turn over the ball, but they should be okay. Should be all right. Good move for them. Good move for the Commanders also, building for the future. It's something that they need because right now they're going through a little rough patch, so they can figure out what they need to do going into the offseason. Of course, letting go of Ron Rivera, obviously, more than likely bringing Eric Bieniemy up to being the head coach for them to be the new regime. And then probably moving on from Sam Howell. Who knows? Because I feel like Sam Howell has all the pieces he needs to right now to kind of show himself, and he's showing himself in the wrong way. So we'll see how that goes, down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. That's solid assessment. The Sam Hill situation. I feel bad for him because what's his name? Terry McLaurin, when the game's on the line, he drops 2 passes on third and fourth down
Yeah.
back to back. You can
Yeah.
argue that he had to stretch out a little bit, but the balls hit him straight in his hands and in his chest. It's like, what are we doing here?
You got to
Sam
catch
Hill
them.
plays lights out against Philadelphia.
So,
But
he loves that Philly matchup for some reason, man.
yeah, and I don't understand it, and that's a very good point too, because it's time for them to move on from
Yeah.
Rivera
Riverboat.
and Del Rio. Bring
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Enemy. See what happens there.
Bring somebody fresh. Yeah. I think that'd be the case. Yeah.
And if they can get a new quarterback, that'll be big for them too.
Yeah.
I think they're a quarterback away from being a stout team.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they grab a couple of new pieces, man. It'll be an interesting division for sure. Because you'll still have the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, the Giants, if they somehow get that offensive line right, it could be interesting in New York. So
Need a quarterback. They need a quarterback so bad in New York.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad.
Man,
what are you seeing?
That's what I'm wondering. Because
I'm seeing a bad offensive line. That's not giving a guy time, because I don't even think a guy like Aaron Rodgers, a guy like Patrick Mahomes would really be able to flourish with an offensive line like that. Just to be completely honest, if one of them were on that team right now, I think they'd be in the same situation they're in right now.
No way.
Maybe a game or two better.
You're speaking about generational quarterbacks. So they absolutely want to beat the Jets.
Line, I just don't see it.
I don't think guys will get up to play with Daniel Jones as your quarterback. That's the issue.
What competent quarterback and what playoff winning quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback throws 15 touchdowns? 15 touchdowns in a season. Total.
Well, we could say Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, but that's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's in the right situation. Because he had a great defense.
I mean, arguably the best defense ever, if we're being honest. So yeah, but that's a fair point. At least in this day and age, you're not getting off with just 15 touchdowns. There's no way.
You're just not getting that. You're not.
It's impossible.
You're not. It's tough. He had to have Saquon. He had to have the rushing, yards and things like that, which we were surprised about in general. But he's just not he's not a good quarterback that can get the job done. There's just nothing I can see him he wasn't even worth the money that he got paid. They should have gave it to Tyrod. Just because.
You should have given it to Saquon, if we're being honest. But running
back, honestly, Saquon. Saquon is just draft. Yeah, draft the QB. Could have drafted Levis.
I mean, for a touchdown debut, you're not wrong there.
Honestly,
and I mean, to be fair, yes, the Giants' offensive line not good. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Neal had the meltdown against with his fans or whatever. But it's also, what have you done for me lately? Because he doesn't really do much when he does have time to throw the ball. So he has Darren Waller now. Saquon Barkley is decently healthy. And the defense is doing the job for what it's worth when they're not playing against certain teams like the high-octane offenses. But they held the Jets to what? 10 points?
Yeah, 10 points, man. They have a good defense.
He has to do more. He has to do more.
No, you're right. Well,
I mean, he didn't play, obviously, but
yeah.
The Italian kid, Tommy, what?
I don't even know. It's like his third string.
He looks like he looks like he's straight out of an episode of Sopranos or off of what's that show? Jersey Shore.
Oh my god!
But the point is, Daniel Jones wouldn't have done anything either. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that we're having, because Daniel Jones and the Giants, they're just something's amiss there. Yeah. Brian Daboll last season was supposed to be this coaching genius. What are we seeing now? Less than mediocrity. One of the worst teams in football.
He's throwing a tablet at him. Sick of it.
It's not just the offensive line. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
It's a lot.